Hi, this is Robert. I am the recovery guy, and welcome back. In this particular segment, we are going to discuss and dig a little deeper into step 3. Step 1, I'm not sure if you had reviewed those video segments or not, but obviously step 1 is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our life had become unmanageable. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. In step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood Him. Some important things there, and we'll break them down a little bit more. And as always, I love to teach from the 12 steps and the 12 traditions. I'm very much an AA guy, NA guy. I found my life in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm a strong proponent of the 12 steps as outlined in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 and 12. And it's not to say that there aren't other things out there that work. If you find something else that works that you can add to your recovery, by all means go do it. This is not about promoting AA as such. It's about promoting recovery. So if you tapped into something else that works and you're just using the 12 steps and the 12 traditions and the program of recovery to add to what you're doing, fabulous. Add it to what you're doing, and I hope at the end of the day you become well, you too also recover, or as in the recovery guide, we talk about going from broken to whole. But let me read you just a little bit about what it says in the 12 and 12 regarding step 3. Step 3 is like the opening of a locked door. How shall we let God into our lives? Remember, we touched on that a little bit in terms of a higher power in step 2, where we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Willingness is the key. Dependence as a means to independence. It's like surrender to win. And I know it seems contrary, but dependence as a means to independence. The dangers of self-sufficiency, turning our will over to higher power, the misuse of willpower, sustained and personal exertion necessary to conform to God's will. These are the things that are discussed in detail in the 12 steps and 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. We made a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood Him. You know, we can't go backwards. You know, it talked about grabbing on to step 1 as only the dying can, to admit defeat. Step 2, we become open-minded and we come to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And step 3 is a more direct introduction to that higher power, to that power greater than ourselves. But we now need to turn our will and our life over to that power, over to His care. It talks about on page 34 of the 12 and 12, it says, practicing step 3 is like the opening of a door which to all appearances is still closed and locked. All we need is a key and the decision to swing the door open. There is only one key, and it is called willingness. Once unlocked by willingness, are you ready for this? Once unlocked for willingness, the door opens almost of itself, and looking through it, we see a pathway besides is an inscription, and it reads, "This is the way to faith that works." Wow. Faith that works. You know, when you come from places like we come from, we've lost all hope. Our faith is so exhausted and we're so tired. Now we're told we can have hope. We can have faith. Listen to this. In the first two steps, we were engaged in reflection, looking back, seeing where we were. But we also perceived that faith of some kind, if only in AA itself, is possible to anyone. These conclusions did not require action, they only required acceptance. Open-minded, willingness, acceptance. These are words that were so contrary to you and me when we were out there. Now, we come into the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. We become open-minded. We become willing. We begin to accept new ideas, new concepts. We believe that through the fellowship of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, maybe there's help for us. You know, we make a decision. We made a lot of decisions when we were out there. Most of those decisions destroyed everything that we ever had. I don't know about you. Well, I probably do know about you. If you're an alcoholic and drug addict like I was, I know a lot about you, just like you know a lot about me. But we lost everything. I can't even tell you how many jobs I had. I can't even tell you how long I was married to my second wife. I can't tell you the amount of relationships that I gave away. But what I can tell you is how deep my pain was. How sorry and sad and despairing I was when I got to the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I remember how much it hurt. And now I come in and they tell me, we can make a difference. These things can change. Here's a key to unlock the door. And once that key of willingness is inserted, remember it says, the door opens of itself. I'm so grateful for that. Because finally, I don't have to do it. That there is a God out there, my higher power, something else that I decided to believe in, that you told me would work if I was willing to work it, if I was willing to incorporate the steps of the program into my life. And you know what? It's true. It does work. Today, as I sit before you, as many of you know, I've been clean and sober over 30 years. It's been an amazing journey, but it's been an amazing journey because of the steps that live here. Step 3 represents our first attempt to do this, and that is to have faith, to believe that something good can happen to me, to walk into an arena where God exists and wants to be a part of my life. It says here, in fact, the effectiveness of the whole AA program will rest upon how well and earnestly we have tried to come to a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood Him. You know, it didn't say how well I did it, because that's a relative term. It talks about how much I tried. And that's remarkable. I just have to try. I just have to be open-minded. I just have to be willing. I just have to accept. I just have to try. I have to try this with more honesty and more earnestness than anything I've ever done. When you come from the places that you and I come from, that area of despair, that area of hopelessness, we are so lost in our addiction that so many of us only have a sliver of hope by the time we get here. Then we come and we begin to experience the steps. We begin to experience the fellowship and the love that is found in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. You name it. there's hope there. But in step 3, we come to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity in 2. And then in 3, we became willing to turn our will and our life over to the care of that higher power, or in step 3, as it says, God, as we understood him. There's a collectiveness about that. There's a unity about that. I love the word we. When I was out there ripping and running, and I'm sure you were the same way, it was about me. There was no we. The we left. It was about me. It was about protecting the supply. It was about doing what I needed to do to get what I thought I needed to get. So we need to come to an understanding. We need to come to an understanding of who God is, what he wants to do in the course of our life through the 12 steps of recovery. So I hope step 3 makes a difference in your life as it made a difference in mine. And like steps 2 through 12, we don't have to do this step to perfection. Even after 30 years of continual sobriety, I'm still coming to a deeper understanding of God. I'm still not exactly sure of who God is and what God does, but I know more today than I did then because I still try. I'm still willing. I'm still accepting. Won't you join us at Recovery Guide? Join us in this plan of recovery. Step 3 will make a difference in your life. I've never met a person who has honestly worked through the steps to the best of their honest ability. Again, it says in chapter 5, rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Step 3 will open a door for you as it has done for me and countless other people that I have met along my road of recovery. There's a sense of relief when you find out that you don't have to do this. You only have to be willing to allow God to do for you what you can't do for yourself. And step 3 opens that door. We made a decision. That's all we're doing. We're making a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood it. It was told to me that steps 1, 2, and 3, step 1 is I can't. Step 2 is that he can. And step 3, I think I will let him. Won't you let him? Won't you do step 3 with the earnestness of someone who's hoping to change? Thank you so much. My name is Robert, and I am the Recovery Guy.